Okay, good day, everybody. My name is Adize. I'm Olubumi's wife. Please, I've been pleading, and you're still pleading for your support for my husband's kidney transplant.
Here's the story of a Nigerian woman who is currently trending after sharing a heartbreaking story on her TikTok. She documented step by step how she tried to save her husband's life after he was diagnosed with chronic kidney failure. According to her, she needed 45 million naira for a transplant. Out of desperation, she turned to social media for help. She claimed she reached out to popular influencers and philanthropists, hoping they would help share her husband's story. But according to her, many of them didn't offer help for free. Instead, they sent rate cards asking to be paid before posting. She alleges that through middlemen, she paid over 7 million naira to them, and in the end, she lost him. This is how everything unfolded, from the diagnosis to his final moments.
Hi guys, good day. So yeah, story time. So yes, I've tried my possible best to put myself together to do this and get on with it and move forward. Right? Yes, it's moving forward. Like I said, I was going to do this for after his 1 year remembrance. And when I made the post that I made asking where I should start, a lot of people said start from top to bottom. And yeah, so the number one on the list is how we found out about CKD. This is well. Okay, so CKD. As I don't know, if you don't know what CKD is chronic kidney disease. That's what it means. Chronic kidney disease. That's CKD. So we found out 2000. We found out 2023. Around December, January, but around the middle of the year, around May, thereabouts, my husband started losing weight. He lost weight. He lost appetite. He would cook, he used to cook very well. Like he used to even create his own recipes and all that. He cooks very well. He will make food, he will eat. But then I saw it, or we saw it, like, what's going on? When he wears clothes, his belt is all out and all that. Like, probably just worries of life, because that period we're actually going through a lot of, financial issues then. So there was just a lot going on. So we just thought it's all worries. So I remember traveling for work. Yes, I used to work in an event company that's, I travel. I was in Ibadan, from Ibadan. I was supposed to go to Benin. And I told him, and he was so mad, he was so angry. And that's not him. Like, every time I'm traveling for these jobs, he's actually excited. Like, he always like, go for it. But that period, he was just, I don't know if that was still the CKD, but yes, it was. And because of that, I was like, no, you know what? Let me just give you a space. Let me go to my sister's place in Lagos. So while I was at my sister's place, he would even call me and tell me that, I made food, I can't eat. I will even force him, okay, is it because you're missing me or whatever? Like, no, come back. And also I went back and I said, okay, we have to go and do the test, because the medication he was on before was just over the counter. And we did the test and it came out, malaria, typhoid. And of course, they gave us medication for malaria and typhoid. Thinking of it after all this, processing all this, I realized that there were little signs, but they were not obvious signs. They were not obvious signs at all. So that's how I would tell people, go and run your test once in a while, because if you're waiting for those signs, before you see those signs, it's already very bad. So I remember one time he used the restroom, and after flushing, I could still see bubbles. I could see bubbles. And I'm like, I didn't think of it. Then there was another time again, I saw the urine was dark. So when I saw that, I was like, babe. I said, no, you know what? We just concluded that. It was malaria. All those things. So I thought it was. I think one time we just talked like, I saw your PO. So really, this malaria is really eating you up. You get, Africans. I don't know. There's this thing about maybe when your peers, malaria don't chop your body. I don't know if you guys can relate. So that was it for me. I didn't look into. I didn't even know about signs of kidney disease or whatever. I had no idea. So, anyways, that was it. Those were the times I saw something, and he did see. And before then, there was this time that his skin was dry. I think I have a picture of it. So his skin was dry, and I would always give him cream, because he was not even someone that used to rub cream. So that period, his skin was just dry. I said, where's your skin? I was even forcing, please rub cream. So these things were signs, but because we were not educated about these things, we did not know. Then again, his intake of fluid reduced. I drink a lot of water. I do personally. I drink CKD or not, even before I used to drink a lot of water. I still do drink a lot of water. We have like a pack of water now, and that day, as long as I'm in that house that whole day, before 24 hours, I will down a pack of water at least. And so I noticed that his intake of fluid reduced, because usually once I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is drink water. Now tell them to drink water, but he wasn't doing all that. So I was like, maybe that's why your skin is dry, you're not taking enough water, this malaria, can you conquer? Anyways, that was just it. We did the test, like I was saying, we did another test, and when we did the test, it showed malaria typhoid, which they gave him medications for malaria and typhoid. So there was this time he came to Delta State for his uncle's funeral, and he met his mother's people, and they were like, oh, you reduced, you lost weight. He even told me like that he was actually feeling bad, that everybody was just telling him that he lost weight. I just told him, I just tried to encourage him. And so he was like, okay, when he comes again, or when we come for Christmas, if he doesn't get himself, he will just maybe still go and run other tests. And that was it. Christmas, we said he had something to do earlier on in Asaba, so he came in before us, then he went for the test. My son was still in Uyo, because we were based in Uyo. So 23rd December, he came in, my husband, so he was not still feeling fine even after those treatments. He was, the sickness was off and on. Today he's fine, tomorrow he's weak, he was losing weight, he was weak, he didn't have appetite, he would force himself to eat, he won't, nothing was just going. So he went to FMC and did a test, like, okay, blood count, everything, he did the test. And that was it. That was when they found out that, there was something wrong with his kidneys, because his urea and creatinine numbers were very high. They were extremely high. And they had to tell him that, there's something. But at this moment, they did not know whether it was chronic kidney disease, or it was, whether it was acute, or, they didn't know, but they just told him that you have to see a nephrologist. So on the 2nd of January, 2024, he saw a nephrologist, and that was when it was confirmed that he has chronic kidney disease stage 4B, which is like, stage 5. So when he told me, of course, the entire family was in shock, because I was like, how, their stages, so how did we go from 1 to that without these signs? And when I spoke to his cousin, then she was asking me, did he have a swollen feet, this, that? I said nothing like that, because that is what everybody knows for kidney disease, that, maybe the person's stomach will be big, or the feet will be big, or the face, these are the visible signs. But trust me, those signs most times appear when the kidneys are already damaged. So that's it, and that was how we found out that, yes, CKD, and we were told to start dialysis immediately. But my husband refused, because he was scared, and at that time we were going through some financial issues, and also we were praying that test would be reversed. Hi guys, good day. So part 2, and this is about our transplant and dialysis, or rather dialysis transplant process. So anyways, when that happened, we got the news, we went back to Uyo. There were, we had to fix up things. Even when his mom's family like, why did you guys go back? We're supposed to do this. There's help here, this, and all that. Or when we had to go back, our son needed to get back to school, get into the hostel. I had work to do, and I was not planning, okay, fine, before we go, let's just sell things that we could sell so that we can raise money for this dialysis. And also, I was still trying to talk to him about, you need to do this. So, fast forward, my son got into school. I went to work. While I was at work, I was selling off our properties. He went back to Asaba, and, I was supposed to join him, when I got back. So I got done with work when I was back home, and trying to tidy up, when he called me and said he doesn't like the way he's feeling, blah blah blah, he has to get to the hospital and all that. So he got into the hospital, he got admitted. He was there for 2 days before I arrived at Asaba. And yeah, I came all the way from Uyo straight to the hospital, and now we're there, we're at FMC for 1 month, and this man still refused to go on dialysis, because I don't know, he was scared. And mind you, while we were on that admission for that 1 month, there was still no sign of CKD physically on him. He still did not have swollen legs, or swollen this, or swollen that. I think when I noticed the swollen feet was now later, like just maybe a few days before we got discharged. That was it. He was still peeing, he was still eating, but while we're in the hospital, then we already started buying blood. Yes, started buying pints of blood. He said, of course, that's what he does, there's no blood, the body's not regenerating blood, it just kept happening, and we kept buying blood and all that. We got home 2-3 days after we got home, he had an emergency. We now had an emergency. I noticed that he was breathing hard. He said he couldn't sleep, and all of a sudden we, like, okay, fine, would you go to the hospital? I said, everybody started pleading. His aunties pleaded, his cousin, calls like, would you not go to the hospital? This one, so everything is just for your own good. Then he agreed. But while my husband was agreeing to it, my husband was actually in seizure. Yes, he was having seizure, but we didn't know. I didn't know that was seizure. He was just, looking at me. He was just staring at me. His eyes were just widely open and all that. And I had no idea that was seizure. Of course, seizure happens when the body, there's a lot, because the kidneys are not futile, so everything is just stored up in the body, and sometimes it gets to the brain. Like I said, I'm going to do that later. I'm still going to educate about that later. So we got back to the hospital. There was no space in the hospital. There was no space for dialysis. We had to go to another hospital. They didn't have dialysis machine. We called another hospital. We now got to a hospital in Onitsha, and that was where we rushed my husband to. In fact, when they called the nephrologist said that he already knew him. He was like, oh, that guy, if that guy is not on any dialysis machine in the next 2 hours, he's sorry that there's nothing we can do about it. I'm like, whoa. I started praying. It was when the doctor was like, this man is having seizure, and she just came to meet me. Doctor, when a doctor comes and tells him, I don't know how you're going to take it, kind of things that we see in the movies anyways. So she just said that, and when she said that, and I'm like, no. I started praying. I started calling my pastors. I started calling my sisters. At this time, my sisters were already aware of this. I started calling and all that. So finally, she said she was going to administer one medication to him, and if she does that, there are two things: either he slips into coma, yes, and he wakes up, or he doesn't. This were her words, and I said, oh wow. So finally, we were able to. God, I got into ambulance, and I saw the way it was crazy. It was crazy. We were able to get in. We got to the hospital. They took a little bit of our time. It passed that 2 hours. I kept praying, and finally, he got into this. That's the dialysis. So he was unconscious. He was on oxygen. He was unconscious. We even had oxygen all the way from Asaba to Onitsha. I held the oxygen myself, the big cylinder. I held it myself all the way, because they said. Anyway, so that was how he got into dialysis, and this was his first time dialyzing, which was on the 24th of February 2024. So let me just continue this. So, anyways, he started the dialysis. Dialysis is usually for 4 hours, but as a beginner. And apart from that, his body, you don't just start dialysis like that, so it doesn't shock the body, right? So he had to be on just 2 hours that night. So like I said, the doctor told us that, that if he wasn't dialyzed in the next 2 hours, that, but thankfully that didn't happen. My husband got into dialysis machine after 4 hours, after 4 to 5 hours, yeah. We got in about 12 a.m. More than that, but yeah, and he started the dialysis. Of course, he had to buy blood and all that. My husband was off. He was unconscious. He had no idea where he was. Obviously, has slipped into a coma. And yeah, when we got done, we came back straight again to Asaba to come continue the treatment here. And while we were even on our way in the ambulance, I was so scared because I started hearing some very different sounds coming from him. I can't explain it, but it was not even something. Anyways, so we got into the hospital, and I got back about 4 a.m. sorry, and about 6 thereabouts. He was trying to open his eyes, but I just kept praying. So his auntie was with me, was with us. She had to go. She went home. I was there. 2 hours later, 2 hours later, they told us they were going to move us to the main ward. I was so excited, since we're going to the main ward, meaning that he's fine, right? And these people, they were not just helping matters, they were just telling me, let's just be praying. I'm like, yeah, I don't understand. Tell me he's going to be fine. Don't tell me, keep praying, keep doing what you are doing. Again, we got back. We got to the main this thing. I was there until his auntie came back about later in the afternoon. I had to go home to go freshen up. Then came back. Then the next day when the doctor saw him, that night, or rather that day, he finally woke up. He woke up and he asked of me. And his auntie called me. I was like, that your husband is awake and he's asking of me. And I ran. So I ran back to the hospital, and he was still, trying to process everything. He didn't even, he was like, where am I? What's going on? I was just so excited that at least he could open his eyes. It was still finding difficult to talk, but that was it. And yeah, the next day when the doctors came, and they were like, that particular doctor was like, Mr. Willie, I don't know what's about God is really on your side. For you to still even be here talking to me. And the doctor was like, just keep doing what you're doing, keep praying. He's really a work in your life. Yeah, that was it, because I know I made a covenant that day, and I said that anyways, so we had that was the first dialysis. They now told us that that he was still going to do. In fact, they had to now schedule his dialysis appointment, and they said, we have to go the next day, we have to go this, so that we needed to go double up the dialysis so that he would really be fine. And guess what? When they checked his test results before we went to the hospital, because the result was not even out, his creatinine was above 2,000. Creatinine was above 2,000. I still have the result. Creatinine was above 2,000. So it was even a shock, this guy could even survive it. We already knew that, we're going to be here for a while. So we were scheduled for dialysis. We started going. So I started, recording some. But I wasn't posting none. We're not even soliciting for funds or anything at that time, because I was just doing these videos and, waiting for God. And those videos would be what I would use, or what we would use to share our testimony. That was basically it. And yeah. So we did this dialysis. So I was recording, and it was just for all the social testimonies. So yes, so what this dialysis was doing was that it was actually helping remove the waste. So the more you do the dialysis, the second time he did the dialysis, it was now 4 hours. He couldn't even bear the pain. He couldn't stay at the machine. I was really, really hurting while seeing him doing that. 4 hours. He ended up doing that in 3 hours. That was the second time he did 3 hours. But they will always say go for it. Reasons you go for it. Reasons the dialysis is very important is that since the kidneys are not working, the kidneys are not functioning properly. So this dialysis machine is helping to remove those waste, because if those waste stay in the body, coma, by different things would happen. And yeah, so that's why dialysis is important. So then again, while we're at the hospital, the doctor said something like, continue the dialysis and you'll be very fine. And later I said again, he said, maybe should we be looking at the transplant? I'm like, I thought you people said just dialysis, and doesn't I need that this matter is more serious than I thought. We should still be looking into transplants. It's going to cost a lot, but it's better you start thinking of that. It's better I start thinking of transplants. And I'm like, that day I remember, I know I broke down. I even went to see him privately. I'm like, what are you saying? Like, we need transplant. Like, I need you to be truthful to me. Like, we need transplants. He said, yes, 100% we need transplants, except he wants him to be on dialysis for the rest of his life. We were in the hospital for 2 months. That's including the FMCO. That's everything. We stayed in the hospital for 3 good months. So when we go back home, because at that time, yes, my husband could not walk again. He was not walking. His feet were now, he was having serious cramps, like he can't walk. So he had to be using wheelchair. Before we got discharged, he said he was going to walk, and he started walking. That's when I started sharing videos. That some videos I made on TikTok that time now went viral, and that was when people started advising that, oh, we should do transplants, we should go for transplants, we should go for transplant. And yeah, I started looking into transplants, started looking at what's the options. Again, Augustine refused that he's not going to do transplant, and he also said that he was going to do, in his words, that he was going to do, this CKD was going to just be like this just for 1 year, and after 1 year he'll be fine. Hi guys, good day. It's been a while. So sorry for the breaking transmission. So yeah, after the last update, I just got into I started having panic attacks again, and I've not been feeling too good. Dealing with migraines and all that, but yeah, I'm okay. So I already talked about I talked about dialysis and how we started dialysis. And yeah, so I think the next should be fundraising. So yes, so I'm just gonna rush this. So quick one, before he passed on the 28th of February 2025, we started dialysis 2024, was it 24th? Thereabout. I think I mentioned the last video. So I started posting. At some point, I just started posting, our journey. It wasn't about fundraising at the first time. It was just about posting our journey because, like I said earlier, my husband wasn't working. At some point, he started trying to work. And there was this particular day we went on for dialysis, and he was like, no, he didn't want to use wheelchair, that he was going to walk. But I just held him, So I posted, and, somehow that video blew up, and somehow, people started reaching out to me, started reaching out to him, and, strangers, of course. And people were like, oh, are you guys planning on transplants? We kept saying that we're not looking to transplants. Yes, that, we're still doing dialysis and hopeful that the dialysis, that the kidneys were going to get back, like we thought. So we're already on that 3 months, back-to-back dialysis, like was advised. And thank God, and I'm grateful for, people that supported us too, especially his Old Boys Association, CKCC. They were really very helpful doing that, and they made sure that he was on his dialysis this whole time. And yeah, so, my video went viral, and people started following. There were, times that people would send, oh, let me pay for 1 section, then pay for 2 sections, like that. And fast forward to my birthday, November 18, 2024. Then I just knew that we're done with the 3 months. There was no, my husband was getting better. He'll get better. Sometimes he will relapse. There were times that he went on, there were emergencies. Yes, these things happen. When I don't know if I explained it before, but when the what's it called happens, when the toxins in the body, they are so much. These things can cause these things can cause seizure. It can cause things like that, and maybe even get the person into coma and all that. He can stop breathing, or rather his breath, he'll probably need he will need an oxygen. It has to be in the hospital to be stabilized, and all. So these were the emergencies we're having, that sometimes he'll start having difficulty in breathing. Fluid, they'll say, oh, there's fluid in the chest, there's fluid in the lungs, this, that, even when we are going for dialysis, and that is supposed to be, but these things happen. So when these emergencies kept occurring, my birthday, I just said, what, after I had asked his cousin, because I spoke to him, I'm like, okay, let's ask your cousin, I know that she has friends abroad, whether they can help send a GoFundMe. And her response was a bit, and I'm like, okay. So thankfully, a friend of mine reached out to me from the UK, and she's like, oh, I saw your post, I think I started raising funds for this, though she already set it up but then she just put for treatment. So I had to reach out to her again and say, please, now it's transplants, because it's already too much. Like, it's too much. So I put that one out then. That was officially, it was my birthday. That was like, please, no one should post my picture for anything. Just help me post these flyers. Help me post the GoFundMe. Let's just start raising funds for these transplants. This was already November. And yeah, thankfully, that's, friends, family, my family posting, my friends, especially from my primary school. Thank you all, Regina Mundi. You guys really helped me through. And just like that. So till someone reached out to me, there's this lady, she saw my post, she was like, oh, okay, I was going to help you post. She then posted Percy TV. Yeah, she helped post it. According to her, she even said, oh, if so amount of people can send 115, that's what we're getting. We're sending to my husband, we're sending to my husband's OP. And in total, we got about 3-point-something million thereabouts in just few days she posted. It wasn't even up to 4 days, yeah, because about that, because I was giving her updates. So there was another person again that reached out to me on TikTok. Woman, I don't know her from anywhere. She said she was in Canada, that she had somebody that had gone through that, which was her dad, or that she's saying that that we're young couples, this, that, she was going to try and help. She even asked, if I've gotten to tabloid, gotten to Tunde not and all that. I said, I even told her, yes, I have done that, because all my posts then, I was tagging all these people. I was sending mail, and my husband was sending mail too, because at that time my husband had not agreed after I pleaded and all that. She said, yeah, we'll do this transplant, I beg. Then for me, I even told him that I will do this transplant. See, my kidney immediately take. Let them. I said I was ready to give my kidney. Even my husband was like, no, I shouldn't. I said, no, I was ready. So let's just go and do the testing and all that. If I'm okay, we are good to go. Let's just know that it's surgery money that we are looking for. And don't forget that I had miscarriage that period. So we did our testing and all that. I wasn't okay to do that. So that's, I don't want to talk about right now. And so even when, there was one time I even asked him, let me not go there. So anyways, this woman reached out to me and she was like, oh, she was going to help and all that. I said, okay, no problem. She said she was going to give us 1 million naira, which she gave us 1 million naira. She said she was still going to pay 1 million, or the amount which should be around 1 million to any of these blogs and all that are ready that would answer us and post. I thanked her. We were very grateful. We made video call just to be sure of who we were talking to and who she was talking to. So at the end of, I think in few days, that period, she reached out to someone else. She said, oh, this is her friend, and that this person was an influencer and this person was going to get through to some of these influencers, which she did. So she reached out to this other influencer, one influencer popularly known. And we were asked to, the girl charged $1 million, which was surprising to me because I thought she was doing all this, charity work and all that. She said she was going to come. She even said, oh, 1 million naira. I said, top. It was the woman that said she was going to pay. I said, okay. So she said we're going to pay for her flight tickets and her hotel for she and a videographer. And calculating all those things, he was already running 2-point-something million. And I'm like, I just have to tell the woman. Even my husband was like, no, that's too much. Don't worry. Those videos that I've been making, we'll send it to her and that she's going to post. I'm sure we are going to get there. And this woman, when she said this lady, the influencer, she said, oh, that she was going to make sure that we get the 45 million naira because, after our calculation, it was 45 million naira. That was what was there for this transplant and treatment. And she was like, oh, she was going to make sure that we get the 45 million after we pay her the 1 million. So we had this WhatsApp meeting with her manager, the lady in Canada, myself, my husband, my husband was with me, and the other influencer that brought us together, or rather that brought all of us together. So she really promised that she was going to make sure that we'll get the 45 million. That, I should just get ready and let's just be going to Abuja to start the process. I said, oh. At this point, we had about, I think about 8 million thereabout. Yes. So, yes, I think about that. So this influencer then posted. And before she posted, we already told her that no, we are not doing the flights and all that. It was already too much. But though she felt a bit reluctant, but she said, okay. But yeah, she then posted and that was it. And as well, let me continue another one.
This is the mix. Yeah. Hey, fine.